The concept of the hero's journey comes from Joseph Campbell, who was a writer, mythologist, and lecturer. Campbell introduced this idea in his book, The Hero with 1,000 Faces, which was published in 1949. The theme underlying in the hero's journey is that many myths, stories, and legends from differing cultures throughout the world and throughout history follow a similar pattern or structure. Psychologist Carl Jung referred to this innate relationship as the collective unconscious. The hero's journey consists of roughly 12 distinct stages for a chosen one to navigate. Specific details may vary from culture to culture, but the overall structure remains fairly consistent. Examples would be that of Gilgamesh from Sumerian/Babylonian mythology, King Arthur from Arthurian Legends, the Odyssey and Jason and the Argonauts from Greek mythology, the Ramayana from Hindu mythology, Sun Wukong from Journey to the West, and Chinese mythology, Inanna's descent to the Underworld from Sumerian mythology, and Siegfried, the dragon slayer from Germanic mythology. This structure of storytelling has also been popularized by modern authors of books and movies such as Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, The Hunger Games, and maybe most widely known of Star Wars. George Lucas of Star Wars was inspired by Campbell's writings, but the two did not meet until well after Lucas had already produced his famous movies. I think that if we look carefully and reflect inward, we may be able to also see the pattern of the hero's journey in each of our own lives. Why is this important? Because seeing our lives from this perspective can help to add clarity and focus to the unique meaning and purpose that we all possess, but are not always aware of. Is Joseph Campbell's hero's journey relative today? The hero's journey outline can apply to the average person's life by representing the various stages of growth and transformation that almost everyone experiences. In our own personal journeys, we may all experience different circumstances or perceptions. There's only one truth, but infinite perceptions for any particular event. In real life, this journey could look like facing major life changes, pursuing personal goals, or overcoming significant mental, physical, and even spiritual challenges. Here's how it might play out in the life of an everyday person. The steps of the hero's journey include: 1. The ordinary world. The hero is often unaware, uneasy, or facing internal conflict, is introduced in a relatable way, allowing the audience to connect with their personal situation or struggle. The hero's background of environment, family, and personal history is established, revealing a feeling of opposing forces that pull the hero in different directions, creating mental and physical tension. A real-world application might be situations where we might feel dissatisfied or unsure about something, but are not driven yet to make a change. 2. The call to adventure. A change is introduced to the not yet hero, either through external forces or an internal realization, which compels the hero to confront an initial shift in their life. Something happens that urges us to change. A new job offer, a health issue, a relationship shift, or simply a sense of restlessness pushing us to grow. 3. Refusal of the call. The hero initially resists the journey, feeling uncertainty, fear of the unknown, or a desire to turn away. In some cases, another third-party character may voice these fears and the risks involved. A real-world application could be seen when a situation arises, where most often our first reaction is resistance. We might feel afraid, overwhelmed, or doubt if we're capable of taking on the new challenge. 4. Meeting with the mentor. The hero encounters an experienced guide who provides knowledge, wisdom, training, resources, or crucial advice for the journey ahead. The hero is forced or accepts to look inward to find courage and inner wisdom. In real life, mentors come in many forms, like family members, friends, a teacher, a therapist, or even an inspiring book or experience that gives us insight or guidance. At this stage of the journey, a useful way to understand the hero's inner development is through the warrior scholar and sage framework. These are not roles one plays, but capacities that gradually awaken through experience. The warrior represents the courage to act and endure difficulty. The scholar reflects the ability to observe, learn, and understand what is happening internally and externally. The sage embodies reflection, discernment, and the ability to integrate experience into wisdom. The mentor often helps awaken one or more of these capacities, guiding the individual toward a more balanced and conscious way of moving forward. 5. Crossing the threshold. At the end of the first act, the hero commits to leaving behind the ordinary world and stepping into a new realm, filled with unknown rules and values. In today's context, this is the moment we commit to the journey, stepping out of our comfort zone. It could be moving to somewhere else, leaving a job, or simply deciding to make a big life change. 6. Tests, allies, and enemies. The hero faces various challenges, cultivates alliances, and identifies challenges and adversaries in the new world. On each of our individual journeys forward, we may encounter challenges and discover who supports or hinders us. We might face setbacks, doubts, or obstacles while finding allies who encourage us. 7. Approach. With newly forged alliances, the hero prepares for a major trial or challenge within this unfamiliar world. As we get closer to our real goal, we prepare for a major challenge. This could mean making a big presentation, taking a final exam, or confronting an important fear. 8. The ordeal. Near the story's midpoint, the hero reaches a pivotal moment in the unknown world, confronting injury, death, or their deepest fear. This moment of confrontation brings about a form of transformation, rebirth, or renewal. This is the peak moment where we face a major hurdle, fear, or obstacle, like overcoming a health crisis, finally letting go of a limiting belief, or facing a major confrontation. It feels like a personal death and rebirth as we emerge stronger and changed. By the time the hero has endured the ordeal and undergone transformation, the emphasis often shifts from survival or achievement to understanding and integration. Here, the warrior's strength is tempered by the scholar's insight and refined by the sage's perspective. The journey is no longer about proving oneself, but about embodying what has been learned and carrying it forward in a way that benefits both the individual and others. 9. The reward. The hero claims the reward or treasure that results from facing their challenges. There may be a celebration, though there is often still a risk of losing the reward. In our real life, we may have faced our ordeal, but also we gain something valuable like greater confidence, resilience, insight, or a concrete achievement that represents our growth. 10. The road back. Around 2/3 into the story, the hero is driven to finish the adventure, returning from the unknown world to ensure the reward makes it home. Sometimes a chase scene highlights the mission's urgency and very possibly danger. In our own lives, we might gain new insight or skills. We may be driven to bring our growth back to our everyday lives, sometimes facing new challenges as we try to integrate our journey's rewards. 11. The resurrection. At the story's climax, the hero undergoes a final intense test as they approach home. They are transformed by a last act of defying death, embracing rebirth, or a sacrifice of some major merit, reaching a higher state of completion. Through the hero's actions, the initial conflicts find resolution. Before fully returning to our normal life, we're often tested again, reinforcing our inner transformation. This could mean facing a problem like the one we just faced before, but responding differently due to our growth. 12. Return with the elixir. The hero returns or continues the journey, now possessing a reward, treasure, or elixir with transformative power, both for the hero and for the world they return to. Finally, we bring valuable aspects to our daily life, whether it's wisdom, resilience, or a new perspective. Our journey may not only transform us, but often positively impacts those around us. In our real life, these stages might be less dramatic and more cohesive, and maybe even more blended together. The hero's journey reminds us that life is a series of growth cycles, and each challenge we face can lead to transformation, making us more resilient, self-aware, and capable.